Hi, I'm Susan Marsden. I'm a Burnside resident and a historian, and this video today is the first of a series called Our History by the City of Burnside. And today I'm actually going to talk about the village, the original village of Burnside. Here we're standing in Kaurna country, which is still the traditional lands of the Kaurna people who occupied the whole and owned the whole of the Adelaide Plains where we're located. But what we're standing next to is, and under trees they called Kaurna, so we acknowledge the land of the Kaurna. This is the country of the Kaurna. What we're hearing, what we're standing next to, is a creek which was named by the English colonists Second Creek. And there were 5 creeks coming down from the Adelaide Hills, the Mount Lofty Ranges, down to the River Torrens. The creeks were very attractive to the settlers as they came in the 1830s when Britain annexed the whole of what they called South Australia. And both the Kaurna and the British settlers were drawn to this country because there were many birds, there were many animals, there was good soil, and there was very good water, such as along Second Creek. So as early as 1839, 3 years after the colony was first occupied by the British, a Scottish farmer took up farmland along this creek. And so he called the farm Burnside, and Burns is Scottish for creek or stream. And that's the origins of the name of Burnside. So we had Second Creek as being a great attraction for settlement, mostly farms, but all around Adelaide people started speculating on these country lands, and Burnside was one of them. So in 1849 a land agent subdivided this section of land, 134 acre section, into 2.5 acre lots, which he advertised for sale as the village of Burnside, or Burnside the Beautiful. And High Street was named just as the high streets are in England. The main street of the village is this one going this way, and this is Lockwood Road was one of the roads. And very quickly people bought up this land and they built a store, for example, and they built hotels as another example. Further down the road there was a schoolroom, and of course lots of small houses. Not that many by comparison with today. Even in the 1860s there were only 45 houses altogether in the whole of the village of Burnside. But this was the focal point for the village of Burnside through the 19th century. Here we are standing in front of a little cottage that was built in the first decade of Burnside, the village of Burnside, and it's a very typical cottage built for a local rural worker who was a gardener probably in the late 1840s, early 1850s. Initially, of course, it was only 2 rooms, at the front 2 rooms, built out of local stone and brick. And then he added on later, or the next owner added on later. Through the 19th century, this little colonial village grew slowly. It was still really a farm village, but the main traffic wasn't through the middle of the village along High Street or Lockwood Road. It was really along these 2 main roads, Glenburn Road and Greenhill Road. And so gradually through the century, the social facilities moved around the corner from High Street into Glenburn Road. And we have a really lovely example here, because when the district council was formed in 1856, first of all it met in the schoolroom, and then in 1869 they built their first Burnside district council chamber here, using the local bluestone from the quarries just down the road. And then the congregation, which had also met, the Anglican congregation, they also got together and managed to build a very beautiful, alongside was a very beautiful bluestone church in the Gothic style. And gradually, as time went on, the population grew and grew and grew, because of course this whole region was subdivided and became suburban. And so finally in the 1960s, the congregation had a new, very up-to-the-minute modernist church built. So we now have on the St David's Anglican Church 3 buildings which really illustrate that change in time and in architectural styles. The final thing to say, which is lovely, as a local resident, I often see the Burnside school children walking down here in the lane from the school on High Street, still on High Street, through past the old council chambers and past the old church. And so it's a reminder that the local village life, the local community life really does still go on in the village of Burnside.
Hi, my name's Michelle Toft and I'm the Historical and Cultural Officer at the City of Burnside. In a campaign to promote the history and heritage of the City of Burnside are installing heritage plaques across the city on significant buildings and significant sites. St David's Church is actually receiving a heritage plaque, and you heard a bit about that church earlier in this video. If you're interested in finding out a bit more about the Historic Village of Burnside, you can visit the local history room at Burnside Library. We have many interesting things in our local history collection. Or you can visit the City of Burnside website and you can actually do the self-guided Historic Village walking tour. There's a brochure you can download on our website. Thank you so much for joining us and watching the first episode of Our History. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.